I'm very interested in what Dr. Celest Austin has to say. She's joining us right now. She is the creator of a new service, and I was calling it an app the other day. And go ahead and let's have Dr. Austin join us. Welcome, Dr. Austin. Hi. I'm going to have you explain what GoManda is, but first I'm just going to say she is an amazing professional in the field of autism. She also identifies as a sister of someone who is on the autism spectrum, and which has given her a very unique perspective. Her family found that her sister learned in a very specific way, and that often as they were cheering her on, they would say, go Amanda, go Amanda. And so the name of her company is called GoManda. I got to say, at first I was like, okay, is there someone in the family that's named Amanda, or is this about manding? Because it has that double entendre.
I've gotten that before.
Kind of like that. She has her MD PhD from the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio. And you made a decision that you wanted to make a bigger impact in the field of autism, and that you are very vehement about, and I appreciate this, about preserving the dignity of individuals who are on the autism spectrum as they learn. You created this GoManda platform. So you're going to tell me what a platform is that teaches vocabulary using strength-based teaching, and we're going to talk about that. But in this quote here, it says that it's a teaching method that works with autism's unique learning style rather than against it. That's very exciting and evocative. So welcome to the show, Dr. Austin.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excied. And I love everything that you talked about right before this, because it's just such a great segue.
I saw what you're, where the point of view which you're coming from, and we always have a place here on Autism-Live for that, because it is in this sea of all these other things that are happening. I love that insurance is covering more and more treatments, but we also see that what it has led to is some low quality services that don't take into consideration the individual. And we're always talking about that here on the show. So I'm thrilled that you're here by talking about your why, because I think that that's always important for everyone. We said briefly that you have a sister. So talk about how that inspired you to do what you're doing.
Yeah. So I grew up with my sister, Amanda, who is on the spectrum. And it was during a time when there were limited resources. There was almost like a negative way of how we were looking at autism. And I just remember as a young child, I just knew instantly that this was just a different way of thinking. I don't know where that came from. No one taught me that. It was just based on observation, just hanging out with my sister. And, we would go and see professionals. Even I remember one time we were at a pediatric neurologist's office, and, the adults are talking, the kids have to sit over here, be quiet. And I remember listening to what was being said and the conclusions being made. And I don't remember the specifics exactly, but I remember this visceral reaction. And where I just ran over there, I was like, you guys are misunderstanding my sister, this and that. And it was just such a deep understanding inside of me. Of course, as a child, they're just like, go away, go back to where you were sitting. But that has never changed. And I remember taking it upon myself to really teach my sister things, because I just kind of understood and just using my curious mind to kind of let her teach me. And when I eventually got older, I kind of made observations at ABA centers and noticed that there were similarities between my sister's learning style and the children that I was working with. And thought maybe, the best strategy would just go into medicine, research some more, get my PhD, and still landed after all of that on trying to make a difference in terms of embracing autism and trying to teach using their learning style. And so really, I've really just come full circle and just going through this journey, exploring autism from all different sides, and still landing at, I just want to help, embrace that different way of thinking. And so that's,
well, we love that.
Yeah.
We love that. So you've created this thing called GoManda, And so tell us what it is, because I don't always understand what the word platform means. But tell us what it is, and because it comes out next month. Is that correct? It's launching
Yes.
next month?
It's
Yeah.
launching April 28th. It's an app, and so call it a platform because hopefully we're going to expand to other devices. But yes, currently it's on available on iOS, iPad, and we've been working with a lot of schools, which is so exciting. It's strength-based training in that we embrace the whole foundation of that is that we just embrace and accept autism. So we look at autism from a very curious lens, and we try to understand all the strengths. And really the three strengths that we try to harness is that beautiful detail-oriented mind. We're not trying to reprogram that. We're trying to embrace it in our learning style. The very visual thinking, and then of course the love for technology that I think is apparent in the autistic community, and actually probably in most communities.
Yeah.
um, and so we just harness those three elements to create a platform, I say, but a learning program to teach vocabulary. And we chose vocabulary because it's just made sense. Vocabulary is the foundation to everything. It helps us connect to the world. And if you don't have that kind of connection with the world, and as Maddie was saying, her child doesn't know his surroundings. If you don't have that kind of connection with your surroundings, because you don't really comprehend or have that understanding, it's frustrating to live in that kind of world. And we are trying to address that, create that foundation of vocabulary.
Okay, so this app is going to come out at the end of April. Very exciting. And is there an age range that this is best for, or a skill level that this is best for, this app? Talk to us
So
about that.
yes. So we say that we want to address the children who are working on their foundational vocabulary, but really in our studies we found success in all age ranges because really everyone's coming at this app from a different level or different perspective, and so it really can help anyone who just needs that kind of connection with their surroundings, needs to connect with their environment, needs that kind of solidification. And so even though we say 3 to 8 is our ideal age range, I say, if you want, try it with any age range.
Okay, great. And then so people can get it on the App Store, I'm
Yes.
assuming, starting the
Yes.
28th of April.
Yes.
And is there like part of it that's free and then there are add-ons? How does it work?
Right. So part of it will be free for you to try out. And then if you want to expand and unlock some of the other nouns, you would have to pay a subscription fee. And right now we are looking at something below $10, but we're still going to work that out. We're going to see about that because we're going to add more and more nouns each month. So we're kind of being like I like to call it the Netflix of nouns. And so just tons of nouns, tons of variations of nouns. Temple Grandin has an amazing speech that she talks about learning, being connected to her surroundings and connecting with her environment. And one of the ways that she did that was learning variations because she felt like she didn't have that grasp of, like, for example, what a cup was, and seeing all the variations really solidify that understanding because her detail oriented mind was so incredible that it absorbed all the information at once, right? And so if you show different variations, you can really solidify understanding. And that's what we do. We show many variations of a noun. So we'll show a purple cup, a ceramic cup, a cup with stripes, a cup with this and that. And it really solidifies that understanding.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And so, I'm always looking for things because we've got a lot of families in a lot of different places in the world, right? So I can see this being a great thing for someone that is in a country where you just don't have access to a lot of different services, and you're leading a busy lifestyle, and you are working with your child, but you also want to make downtime reinforcing for your child in an educational environment. And so this is a great way that you can give the iPad. I can see this working in kindergarten and first and second grade classes when the teacher's trying to work with one small group and we want the other small group to be activated in doing something, but they can do it a little bit more self-led. I can see parents, when you're on your way to go to the OT or the speech or whatever, and there's the time in the car. And a lot of times that can be lost time while you're trying to negotiate traffic. You can't always be, sometimes you can be teaching, but you can't always be teaching, right? But the
Exactly.
child can be on the app on their iPad and it's not time that's lost. I can see this, it's dinner time and you've been doing therapy all day long and you need to get dinner, but you got to make sure that the child is doing something. And rather than have them just be playing a video on YouTube, which let's face it, our kids would love to, instead, you can give them this. And the thing about it is that it looks like it's highly reinforcing, it's very vibrant from what I can see, because I haven't actually seen the inside of the app yet, but that way of utilizing every hour that we have, and as you said, utilizing in a way that they already connect to, they love their iPads.
Yes.
And why not utilize those to, we're always talking about here how if we could make every single minute an educationally enriched environment,
Yes.
be like done, that is good for all kids of all abilities. Like, let's make it, for heaven's sake, it's good for adults. It's not just for kids. But
Right.
so this is a way that people can expand what they're doing, whatever that is. Am I in the right neighborhood,
Yes,
Dr.
you are
Austin?
correct. Yes, and it's fun. Like you mentioned, it's not gonna feel like work. Our kiddos that we've worked with absolutely love it. They think that's the reinforcement, which is
Yeah,
hilarious to me.
yeah.
They
I love that. It's like clever. They're like, you're like, oh, we always talk about how if you want to get your child to be, like in the groove and being happy with what's going on, you want to get like back to a place of compliance, because sometimes our kids get in a snit, right? And sometimes I get in a snit. But we want to be in that happy groove where things are happening, and so sometimes we ask them to do something that they already want to do, like so this is a
Yes,
great example of, you can say to your child, can you do me a favor, go get your iPad, I want you to play this game for me, right? And they're
right.
like, really? I'm happy to do that. Like, you should ask me to do that all the time. But here's the sneaky part, you're getting them to eat their vegetables educationally when they play these types
Right.
of things on the iPad. So, it's like this double whammy. So everything's not going well, and you say to your child, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you get your iPad? Can you play this GoManda for me? And the child's like, yeah, I can do that. Then you praise them for that, and they were doing what you wanted them to do anyway. Winning.
We've
Uh,
had, yeah, many educators saying like this, our students think that this is the reinforcement, they actually ask for it. And we're like, yes, of course. I've had we've worked with a kiddo in here in Austin who had a complete transformation in terms of how he viewed education, how he viewed a learning lesson. It was such a challenge initially to have him just even embrace or look at GoManda. It seemed like he had a lot of negative emotions behind learning. And finally, after we had 5 sessions with him, he was loving it. I felt bad taking it away from
yeah,
him.
that's how education should be. Melissa has written in and said, love that. My 15-year-old still struggles greatly with her words and how to put them together, and her school still won't add speech therapy for her. And I'm just sending Melissa a hug, and I'm saying,
That's a shame. Yeah.
yeah, call an IEP meeting, and ask for speech again, and ask for it, in writing, because I don't understand why they won't give you speech therapy. Like, that is, speech therapy is so easy for them to give. I just don't understand why they won't give it. But you can write me more and we can talk more about that. But so you're saying even a 15-year-old,
Yes.
building vocabulary. So there we go. Now, we're running out of time, but before you leave, I understand that you are involved with a nonprofit called Mindset. Talk to us about that. Mindset
Yes.
for All.
Mindset for all. So during my journey of creating GoManda, I've met a lot of amazing, like-minded, passionate individuals, and we formed this nonprofit to kind of embrace neurodiversity. And we are trying to throw a neurodiversity fair in Texas. So if you're in Texas, check us out, mindsetforall.com, and also gomanda.com. But we are trying to provide resources in one fair of early childhood up into adulthood, where we can have a career fair on the adulthood side, where tech companies and other companies who provide a separate applicant pool for neurodivergent individuals or just accommodate for neurodivergent individuals, and in early childhood resources where people are embracing neurodiversity and embracing your child as is. And so just providing all that resources to empower parents and empower the children. And that's our goal.
That's wonderful. And as that comes about, and I know there's a lot going on right now with COVID, and I know there's a lot going on in Austin. It seems like every time I turn the TV on, I'm looking at Austin's mayor. What is it with the pictures? What are the pictures behind him? Can you explain this to me? Your mayor has these very interesting paintings of like, I want to know, did his
the
wife
story behind that.
I need to know the story. I want to know, did his wife paint them? But he's on the news a lot because there's a big brouhaha, you guys, right now about masks, and the
Yes.
state of Texas has waived their mask requirement, but Austin is trying to hold on to it, and the mayor is getting a lot of grief about that. So I know that right now putting on an event is probably a little bit of a challenge, but as you move through that, Dr. Austin, please let us know, because I know some people that would like to have booths at your neurodiversity fair.
Yes.
So that's a wonderful, wonderful endeavor. And I also would like for our viewing audience to know, so that if they can attend, that they can. But so websites to go to are GoManda.com, and Traven had it up just a second ago. And what is the one for Mindset?
Mindsetforall.com. And we're hoping that we're going to secure the neurodiversityfair.com domain and have that all up soon. We're hoping the fair to be in October, but of course we are especially careful and being mindful of the situation. So that date will be announced at some point.
Okay.
Once we figure things out.
Fantastic. And hopefully October,
I know, right?
Like, let's all hope for that. There it is, mindsetforall.com, you guys. Now, before I have you leave, I promised that I would give you an opportunity to address what Maddie had said about her 16-year-old, teaching him independence without him getting hurt. And because that can't be a thing. Right? You don't have to get hurt to learn independence or to work on independence. Is there anything you would like to say to her before we let you go?
I mean, the only thing that I would say is, and I think what you were saying prior to this is really understanding the behavior, really understanding what if it's self-harm, where is that coming from? And looking at it from that perspective and that lens. And maybe that can gain some understanding and I don't know, a parent knows best on what that looks like. It's tough. And that's all I can provide right now is from that perspective. I see.
We appreciate your input. And we still have, I'm going to let Dr. Austin go, and then I'm going to say a few more things from my point of view. But Dr. Austin, thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to seeing you go, Amanda. And let us know. We'll have you back on to talk about the neurodiversity fair. Okay.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Right.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.